Yes, I am aware there are only 4 films in this franchise, but hey, I enjoy doing my ranking videos after a super series, so you're getting another one. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to another Sunday Fun Day. And as you just heard in the intro, today is going to be another ranking video. So yes, we just recently wrapped up my Predator Super Series. We can hop right in to number 4, and the 4th spot, and my least favorite of the Predator films is obviously Predator 2. Despite me giving the Predator the same score, or relatively the same score, and kind of the similar beats, Predator 2, me giving it the score that I did was being generous. It's not a good movie, guys. I know there's a lot of people out there defending it, and if you enjoy it, that's fine, good for you. I'm not gonna bash you or your opinion, you're completely entitled to it. But for me, the movie's trash. Honestly, there's nothing really enjoyable about it. I enjoy Bill Paxton. The Predator is still badass as always. That's the one thing that remains consistent, is that the Predator is just a super cool alien monster creature thing. But that doesn't save the movie. The kills are awesome, and the graphic deaths and things like that, and the gore from the makeup department, all that stuff kicks ass. Other than that, I did not like any of the rest of the cast, including Danny Glover, who was the lead. I thought the story and the setting was just kind of horrible for the Predator. Predator 2 was a total flop for me. The movie's practically garbage, so it lands on the number 4 spot and my least favorite of the Predator franchise. Which leaves the even more obvious number 3 spot going to the newly released The Predator. This is an even bigger disappointment than number 2 in my mind, but that's just because I actually hyped up this one. Now, I wasn't actually alive when Predator 2 came out. It came out in 1990. I was born in 98, so, you know, I didn't have time to hype that up or anything. But with The Predator, I was hyping this movie up so much. You had Shane Black directing, you had an all-star cast, the trailers looked badass, everything seemed like it was going to work so well, and I was so excited, and then smacked right in the face with just how bad this movie really was. Yes, I did really enjoy the lead in Boyd Holbrook, and I did enjoy the Predator again, of course. The action scenes, most of them were mostly enjoyable, but just the comedy was the big killer for me. The comedy was too much. I didn't know if I should be laughing or not. You know, a couple of jokes here and there, like in the first Predator, that works fine. But where every single sentence is trying to make you laugh, it's too much in a Predator movie. This movie basically should have been classified as a comedy, sci-fi, action, yada yada, because it was basically a comedy. And the rest of the cast is practically unlikable, which really sucks, because when you have names like Keegan-Michael Key and Thomas Jane in there, and Olivia Munn even, she wasn't that good. Sterling K. Brown even wasn't very good. Like, I did not like any of these guys, and it sucks, because I was really looking forward to this movie. And don't even get me started on the convoluted story, just the mess of a plot, and the even worse ending, and it's just the stupid CGI was really bad too. This movie just had too many negatives for me to enjoy it. The Predator, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in at the number 2 spot, before I go any further, I must tell you guys and explain myself a little bit, because this was difficult to decide. It really was. Because for me, these movies are different from the other two because they have a mystery element going for them. But with Predator 1, the original Predator, it was the mystery of what is this creature, what are its capabilities. You were figuring out everything for the first time. With Predators, it was the mystery of where are we in the world, who put us here, so on and so forth. So these movies are very similar, honestly. They are very similar when you really look at them. The first time I was introduced to the character of the Predator, the alien creature monster thingy-majiggy, was actually in 2004's Alien vs. Predator. So that was my first introduction to the character, so by the time I actually finally got around to seeing Predator, the original, I already knew what this creature was and what it was capable of. And then you get to Predators, and Predators respects the fact that you already know what these creatures are, so it tries to throw you into a new mystery. So that really, when I kind of came to that conclusion, is what ultimately decided it for me. But the runner-up spot at number 2 is actually going to the original Predator. Yes, I know, don't kill me. Put your pitchforks and torches away, come on. Predator lands in the number 2 spot simply because of that reason. It is a great movie. Pretty much the cast across the board is great in that movie too, especially Arnie in the lead. You have Carl Weathers as well. It has a really solid cast, and it's an enjoyable watch. It's a great 80s action flick, an 80s action sci-fi flick. It took the world by storm. It surprised everybody. It has lasted the test of time. It is still here today, and it is still talked about. It just got another sequel. You know, this movie, it has its spot in film history. It's great. The action is great. But what it comes down to is the fact that I didn't have that awe for me. You know what I mean? When it comes to the Predator, the creature itself, of course, it's a badass, like I said. But that mystery element wasn't there for me. That is so present for so many people because I already knew what this character was from such a young age that it didn't have an impact on me like the first one did. So when it comes to the number one spot, which is obvious now, adding that extra mystery really pulled me in and made me feel this movie a lot more than I felt the first Predator. So I might as well segue into it right now, guys. The number one spot is going to Predators with a big old S on the end. Yes, the 2010 sequel, the third film in the franchise, Predators, takes my number one spot. I enjoy all of the cast in this. I like pretty much everyone. It's got a lot of really notable names. You have Adrian Brody, Danny Trejo, Walton Goggins. Like, there's so many names in this. I could continue, but there's no need. You know the cast. You can watch my review if you want to. I enjoy the movie. I think the action is great. The Predators are super cool. The Predator dogs, I think, are way better in this one than they are in the Predator, the new release one. I love the mystery element of this. I love the setting again. I love the tension in this movie. I enjoy so much of this movie. I really, really do. And I think that the facelift, hopping from Predator to Predators, obviously the better CGI, even though when it's in it, it's not that great and it was a negative. It is definitely spiffied up from the 1987 version. I just enjoy most aspects of this movie. As I said in my review, the biggest disappointment for me in this movie and the thing that was the biggest negative is the fact that it doesn't really let you get this information yourself or the characters because you already know these things. It almost acts as if the characters have seen the first two movies because they just dump piles of information on you, all of a sudden just this bunch of exposition. Like, one action sequence will happen, all of a sudden one character will be like, well, I noticed this, and this, and like, oh, okay, so they have this information about the Predators now. It's like, oh, the sun's there? Well, that must mean this, and this, and they name off like 10 things each time, and it's ridiculous. That part annoyed me, but other than that, the mystery element in this movie is much more prominent to me as I know who the Predators are already, so I don't need that explained to me. I enjoy the cast across the board. I enjoy the tone of the movie, the mystery element, and everything about it, honestly. It was so close, honestly. If I could give them a tie, I would, but I do have to name spots. So the number one spot is Predators, and that's all there is to it. So guys, if you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know, how would you rank the Predator movies? And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap.